Hey guys, I'm driving to the gym from the Loud and Live office after a pretty long morning of competition related logistical stuff. And we've been promising that we do more videos for people. And I've been trying to carve out the best time that I can to give that attention and to deliver some high quality stuff. Just to really get my thoughts out and to help our consumer base and our clients have a better insight to why we do things and educate people who have been following us for quite some time. And I figured on these drives that I have is the better time than ever, really. It doesn't really make a difference if I'm sitting in the car doing this stuff or I'm sitting in the office at the gym or in a conference room at Loud and Live at home, etc. The production quality is not going to be terribly high, but I don't really think that matters if people are just interested in hearing what we have going on and some of our philosophies on things at Soul, and having a better understanding as to why we do what we do and how we do it. A topic that I want to touch base on today a little bit is class caps for the different classes we have at Soul. It's something that we've done since day one, literally since day one. We've always had a class cap on everything that we've done, regardless of the size of the gym that we've been in. Throughout the 10 years that we've been operating, we've had multiple different sizes of gyms, and the way those gyms have laid out have always been very different. And regardless of how much or how little size we have, for everything we do, we've always had a group or class cap. It's something that I think sets us apart first and foremost. But outside of trying to stand out and do something different, for me personally, I think you're doing a disservice to people if you do it any other way. If you live in a small town or have a small gym, maybe you don't have to enforce that, but living in a city like we do in Miami, Florida, having a gym the size that we do, for us it's very important. So for those of you guys who don't know, we have a class cap, and we kind of flex it between 12 and 15 people. It used to be 10 to 12, now it's 12 to 15, depending on the class, depending on the workout. And we also ask that people pre-register before coming to class. So for us at Soul, we use Wattify, and we ask that people log into Wattify to take their class spot prior to coming in, so our coaches on the floor can better predict how big or how small of a class they're going to have, how they should set up the class, what the flow should be like. Really, it just helps them know what to expect when the class starts. There's a very big difference. Let's say you got to work out something like Fight Gone Bad for the day, and you're going to teach it for 8 people. 8 people doing Fight Gone Bad is very different than 15 people doing Fight Gone Bad. So it really helps our coaches be able to predict what is coming up for the day, which is really important for class flow, class management, keeping people safe. Another big reason why I'm a fan of it is the quality of the class and the product that the coaches can deliver to the clients and athletes is much higher with a limited class cap. I couldn't tell you how often people come to the gym and they want to switch over from another gym, and they say things like, I haven't practiced snatch if it's not in a CrossFit workout in the last 8 months. And then the class prescribed a 1RM snatch or a heavy snatch single or something like that. Or, the open called for a heavy clean and jerk, and I haven't practiced clean and jerk in several months. When you have such big classes at your affiliate, even if you do have that good coach to athlete ratio, the chaos of the class, 20, 25 people, doesn't really lend itself to doing a good thorough warm-up, good skill progressions and or weightlifting, good strength work, and a good CrossFit workout. Obviously, we are not going to check all those boxes and do all those things every single day. However, it is a staple in our program to do lots of skill work and strength work and barbell progressions prior to workouts. Not always, but often. So the quality component of the workouts that you can do, it's way better, in my opinion, when you have a limited class cap. Probably the most important piece is safety. And that's where that coach to athlete or client ratio is very important. Being able to have eyes on virtually everyone in the class is huge, and having the class cap affords us the ability to do that. Another big thing is equipment management. Having a class cap allows us to keep a close eye on how many barbells we need, how many boxes we need, how many bikes we need, how many rowers we need, etc., etc. And that's not always an exact science. For example, we only have 2 ski ergs at Soul. We can't do workouts that are, class workouts that have ski ergs most of the time. But for all of the other pieces of equipment, it helps us control a little bit better what we're going to be using for the day. And that helps us have a little bit more fun with our programming as well. Again, I can't tell you how many times I've dropped into gyms and, there's 20 people in the class, and, the workout might have something like a sandbag in it or a farmer's carry in it. And you go and you look at the different pieces of equipment or implements that the gym has, and they don't even have enough for half of the people in the class. It's a cool workout that's designed, that's posted on the whiteboard or on the computer. However, they're really logistically impossible to perform. So having that cap allows us to be more creative with our workouts and, make sure that everyone has the correct piece of equipment so they are tapping into the intended stimulus for the workout of the day, which is really important. And the last thing that I'll touch on is being able to customize progressions for people taking the class, right? So in CrossFit, the common term, which, it still gets thrown around at Soul, but I try not to use it, and I'm not a big fan of it, but it is the word scale, scaled down. And in my opinion, every time we look at these things with these like arbitrary scales, like if you don't have a muscle up, you're going to do, X amount of jumping pull-ups and X amount of dips. That's not really consistent with our training philosophy. We don't really like these arbitrary scales. It's really hard to predict and say, for every one muscle up equals X amount of pulling exercises and pressing exercises. For us, we try to customize scales as much as we can to give people some kind of individualized touch and attention. Our coaches are trained so they can be on the floor and spot exactly what someone's fault is and really take into consideration the reason why he or she is not getting the bar muscle up. What's the reason why he or she is unable to do a strict handstand push-up? So we don't necessarily have these scale downs where if you can't do a strict handstand push-up, everyone's going to do tiger push-ups. If you can't do strict handstand push-up, everyone will do ×2 box push-ups. That's not our philosophy in Soul. We try to find a blend of allowing people to have the class experience to compare times to each other and work out with a group while still giving people some kind of individual love and attention. And if you have a group of 25 people, it's nearly impossible to give them individualized, what we like to call progressions rather than scale downs in the class. When you have a group of 8, 10, 12, even 15, it makes it a lot easier to go around. As people are warming up, we ask people to perform whatever the exercise of the day is, and our coaches have an opportunity to look, watch, and observe at their movement quality and break down exactly what the fault is and the reason why they're unable to perform these exercises. Then when it's time to start the workout, he or she, the coach, will go around and will say, okay, here's the reason why you aren't able to get your chest to the bar, so you're going to perform this, you're going to perform that, here's going to be your progression, here's going to be your progression. And for us, that really ties in the quality piece. And for at Soul, again, like finding the balance of fun but quality is huge for us. So that is why we've always had that class cap. I've had some affiliate owners in the past that I've done consulting for, and I've talked to about this concept of class caps. And they've always asked, like, do we get any pushback from our clients? How do we handle it if more people show up outside of the class cap? And, honestly, some clients, especially in their early days at Soul, they do have complaints sometimes about the class cap. It is something that is quite annoying to some people. However, when we do a better job at educating those people as to why it's so important and why that's really a non-negotiable for us at Soul, and help them understand that the emphasis is making sure that everyone is safe, training in a safe environment, and they're getting as much out of their workout as they can get in that hour. It smooths that over, and people have a better understanding as to why that's something so important that we do, and that why that's such a pillar to our training program. I came from a gym previously which was run like a madhouse, to be honest, and I saw a lot of people get hurt, including myself. I saw a lot of inefficiencies, and I saw a very poor quality of training. When we opened, we decided that we wanted to be the antithesis of that. In the latter years, I dropped into several gyms in South Florida, and I had opportunities to see how many people did it themselves. And a lot of people did that. It was that like big box mentality of trying to squeeze as many people into a workout as humanly possible, really cheap rate to come in and train. And the philosophy was more is better, party vibes, style of environment. And we're not those kind of dudes, and that's not ever what we wanted. So we built something that was the complete opposite of that. And we do get pushback sometimes. Sometimes people don't understand it. But ultimately, the answer is our gym is not for everyone, and it's not supposed to be for everyone. Some CrossFit purists that are hearing some of the stuff that's going out there in CrossFit these days, which is, people preaching that CrossFit is for everyone. What I will say is our style of training can be for everyone, but realistically, there's not. I really have a belief that everyone has the perfect gym and the perfect community and environment where they belong, and it's just a matter of finding it. Some people come by Soul and they don't like the rules, they don't like the structure, they don't like the music we play, they don't like our branding, etc., etc. However, for us, it works, and we've been pretty successful. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts and philosophy on our class cap and the reason why we've developed that. If you have any questions or comments, you can post them to the YouTube page. I'd love to hear back from you guys and get some feedback. And if you have any other topics that you want me to touch base on, that would be great. Visit us at www.crossfitsoulmiami.com, and for our competitive programs, www.teamsoultraining.com. Peace.